You ready?
Oh, I am ready. I was born ready, my friend.
Alright.
You shed my balls and you rattled my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I got the love cause I thought it was funny. You came along and you moved your honey. I checked my mind, this love is fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me, baby. Feels good. I wanna hold you, baby. I wanna love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I wanna tell the world that you're mine. I chew my nails out and dread on my thumbs. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Whoa, kiss me, baby. Feels good. I wanna hold you, baby. What I wanna love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I gotta tell the world that you're I chew the nails and I twiddle my thumbs. I'm a little nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby, you drive me crazy. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire! Woo!
And now live from Boca Raton, it's the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Great balls of fire, ladies and gentlemen.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Keep going. That was it?
Welcome. Is that camera crooked?
Which one?
The one that we're on?
Nope.
No?
Maybe.
That's straight?
No.
Then
It's crooked.
It's crooked.
The word Brooklyn is going down slope. Freddie's like on a boat. Other way.
Well, just, keep talking.
I'm seasick. It's funny. I want to play this show tonight at 8 o'clock on the radio. But after that opening, I'm afraid that Orson Welles' War of the Worlds, we would create a
love
panic.
that. I only wish they could see Josh dancing with his ukulele in his Chef Martin outfit on that opening.
I'm pretty sure they could see that.
I mean,
They have a
tonight at
TV
8
over
o'clock.
there. Oh, yeah, well. I'm just afraid to
Happy Tuesday to you, wasn't it?
afraid to put them on the air. Or remember Orson Welles when he did War of the Worlds? That we've been invaded by. He scared everybody.
I don't know.
That would be a repeat performance.
I think Cooking of Chaos is a little scary today. That corn soup, Josh was still in a boat. It was that corn soup, it was that coconut milk in a can that I've never quite seen anything like that before.
That isn't the scary part.
I've never seen Bailey
That's not the scary
mess
part.
with it.
They don't stop eating it. I mean, they don't stop eating it. I mean, I'm looking at them make this thing, like the blob, and they keep eating it. And they're eating out of the bowl, and they go, do you want some?
Josh, can we just clip the end of it, of them going, it's delicious, and they're sharing, and they can't get their face in the bowl fast enough. For anyone wondering what we're even talking about, Cooking Up Chaos, it airs Saturday at 10:30
I don't know
on
what
the
you're
Kids
talking
Television
about.
Network.
You got to lower this slate for that to be even. That's not going to work.
They
out.
made chilled corn soup because we do not have a kitchen in this
It's
studio.
like this.
So
Look
it's
at the work. Brooklyn goes downhill.
cream corn, coconut milk, salt and pepper, lime juice.
Oh no, I know the ingredients. I
Um,
just cannot believe that they put that, and it smelled delicious. Don't get me wrong.
It's
It
probably
smelled
really good. It was just watching it be made. And
I could have sworn there was a fingernail in there.
The gurgling. I thought
What
Chris,
was-
and I think Chris cooked. She must have been appalled watching. It's like, may not ever eat
No,
that
Chris-
again.
She said, "Let me get a spoon."
There is more actually in the blender for anyone who wants
We
to
have some
try
in the
it.
blender that did not
It was not
attack.
really
If you
hot.
guys want a cup of it, I would heat it up
Why?
because it sounds disgusting cold.
It's probably good. I know you can ask Bailey and Baxter. Would you like some? And for those that are wondering, we do have a supervision by an adult of Chef Martin here who actually turns on the blender for them.
Who? Who's the
Chef
supervision?
Josh is the supervision.
And who supervises him? Did
Not
you see
you.
when he turned it on?
What?
What do you want me to do? Turn it on? High, medium, or low? Well, that glob in there should be high.
You and I have been back-to-back shows since 9:30 this morning.
I'm punch drunk
Happy
already.
Tuesday to you.
I'm
It's
like,
so nice to see you.
I'm not even here.
We did the morning show, then we had the Reinvented Life, talked about personal justice versus social justice, and all in between that, which I didn't even know what it was until the show. And then Cookie and Chaos.
We had our
and
own
we're back.
alien show up this morning, and Mr. Russell.
So we've got the perfect person to ask about that because, as we discussed this morning, there is a new atlas out of Mars.
Frank, you've seen that?
I'm going to have them downloaded. It's on Freddie's email. 3,000 pictures that the Hope, the name of the vessel that's circulating Mars, took pictures of. It's called Hope. Put together 3,000 pictures of Mars, the atlas. You saw it, talking about life. So the conversation this morning was aliens or Martians.
It looks like the Earth, except it's red.
Can you ask them to download it
And
off
it
Freddie's
has
email?
like oceans, and it looks like the Earth. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not buying into it. I'm sorry.
Well, it used to look like the Earth.
It used to look like
It
the Earth.
used to look like the Earth, but not anymore.
See, extinct lakes,
Wait a minute. How do we know it used to look like the Earth?
because it's Frank.
Because it's Frank.
Because Frank said
Frank,
so.
are you there? Did you put the flag? I mean, it has north and south poles too.
It has north and south poles. It used to look like the Earth. It had an atmosphere, and it had water, and it had oceans, it had everything.
And what happened? The Russians blew it up.
Yeah, the Russians blew it up. The Ukrainians blew it up.
I mean,
No,
what
It
happened?
was, there's debate as to what happened. Nobody really knows.
It had a leak, and we came here.
Yeah, we had a leak.
Oh, the
Could have.
atmosphere left.
It was like Mars again.
Can you imagine? We always thought Martians were Martians. We're the Martians because we came from Mars and
We're
we're
the
here.
Earthlings, and then there's the Martians.
No, we're the Martians. We came here because that planet died.
Could be.
And here we are.
It's possible.
And we're
It's
killing this
possible, right?
one. And what's going to be the next planet?
And you wonder if we're really the Martians. Venus?
Who's the next? Venus? It's too hot.
It's not Venus. Is not the next planet for us to inhabit.
There's a one they found another like kind of galaxy that would like work.
That's too far, though.
But it's like one of the
The other galaxy. We got to get her. a
Trippy
mic.
knows. Trippy's from another planet. What
Where's
planet
she
are
from?
you from?
we're from Mars, all of us.
We're all from Mars, apparently.
I'm beginning to believe we're all from
The
Mars.
only reason why Mars is red is because it's all dried up from all the water that it used to have that it no longer has, and it's just dirt now.
That red is the copper that used to be in the water.
Don't ask me
See if they can download the picture. It says morning show pictures.
You know, that's a good concept. Did Frank come in with
The
that?
water's
whole-
underground. In Mars.
You're from Pluto? Is that why you don't have the mic? Yeah. She's a Plutarian. We were trying to figure out. There it is, Frank.
I
This
thought
is the
men
new
were
atlas.
from Mars and women are from Venus. I thought that was.
This is the new atlas that just came out from NYU Abu Dhabi.
Now that looks like Africa, Europe, and the United States. See Florida sticking out? Come on now. This is ridiculous.
They say it's a great tool for researchers.
And you see the white caps on the top and the bottom? Those are the poles.
It could be the poles.
But doesn't that look like the world map?
Polar ice caps, extinct rivers, and lake systems with details where NASA's Perseverance rover has been exploring.
So they're saying this is what it used to look like.
No, this is what it looks like
That's what
now.
it looks like now.
How could it look like
it used
that
to
now?
be.
There's no
it used to be full of
oceans.
water, oceans, and everything.
But we don't know what happened.
We came here.
That's exactly what it is.
We abandoned that planet because Putin
They
put
think
an end to that
The,
planet too.
the official story is Martian got hit by a huge asteroid almost the size of Pluto and knocked everything out.
That's what it says.
So where's the hole?
It says the map reveals the history of asteroidal bombardment on the planet, giving a wide-angle view of the, which is why we're here now.
Our spaceships are run into a meteorite to see if it can knock it off course.
Yeah, that was a practice shot.
This gets more crazy. This is like welcome to World of the War of
War of the World.
I don't even think we got to worry about the meteorites though. We got to worry about satellite junk coming down.
Oh, you wouldn't believe how much junk is up there.
See?
Now, is there a way to wash that stuff away? Send it into space, or
Remember that commercial? I'm going to wash
the
it out
moon?
of my hair. We're just
how
gonna
come we
wash it
can't
away
take all of the pollutions and send it into the sun?
and let it burn up?
Yeah.
What goes up has to come back down.
What goes up has to come back down, she says.
Not if it goes out of the Earth's gravitational
Yeah.
pull.
But there's a section of the South Pacific
Yes.
where all the space junk they divert and sink there.
Everything there is plastic and everything. You see now they had that kid that won
In fact,
from MIT.
the space station is going to be sunk there
Really?
Because that's the deepest part of the Earth.
because that's coming out. When is it? I don't know when that is.
Why would they sink it,
2025, I
though?
think they're
Just
gonna
to
let it
bury
dump into
information?
the ocean.
It's junk. What are you going to do with it?
It's not junk. Everything
is.
has value. You ever see Wall-E?
You know the solar panels?
He,
You
he
see the
clearly
solar
hasn't.
panels? What do you do with the solar panels? You can't bury them because they have some kind of nuclear whatever. What do you do with them? You have them in the desert all piled up.
Yep.
There's enough solar panels in the desert. You can't reuse them.
Well, apparently Walmart, Best Buy, and there's a lot of other companies that are accepting recyclable material. So we should all take our solar panels one at a
You
time.
can't recycle them.
And why? Because it's got
Because
material in it.
they have some kind of nuclear material in it that's
Maybe we
poison.
shouldn't
The
have
same,
made it.
the same thing with the wind turbines. The giant wind turbines and generates the wind.
Yeah, what do you do with those
100
blades?
Some of those blades are 150 feet long. Can't do
Yeah.
anything with them. Can't recycle them. Can't do anything with them. So when they come down, they come out in the desert.
Yep, that's a big, big problem. I saw that on 60 Minutes. And they should put all this stuff in a big ship and send it to the sun.
Or sink it.
No, don't sink it because you're putting it back in the earth.
No, they're sinking old boats to create marine life again.
Yes, but they don't have nuclear waste on them. Why can't we get rid of these fans? What's wrong? What are they made of?
It's a complicated situation we're in.
It is, but don't worry about it. Putin's going to take it. It's going to take away all the problems of the world.
Complications.
He's just going to create World War III at the end of it. Then we can throw it into the hellfire.
That's nice of you.
Again,
This is coming not from me. This is coming from somebody who's an ally of his, and he says that World War III is the only way to straighten out the mess. Which I don't understand what the mess is, but I guess there's a mess.
I don't know, World War III, they say was going to start in the Middle East. So
I don't know.
if
We
you
have to
believe,
go to
according
Frank
to
again.
Nostradamus, we're going to have like Frankadamus.
Frankadamus. Frankadamus. That's pretty good.
More to come with that. We're going to
You
take
know, hold on, before we take a break, Frank, you wrote something about a Megatron, a meta something?
Metatron.
Metatron. What are you laughing at? It was Metatron, right?
Metatron is the head of the whole archangels.
And
That's
you
the name of
wrote,
the angel, Metatron.
so this angel, where did this angel come from? I've never heard of this angel.
He is the head of the original archangels. There was 400 archangels, and 200 fell.
Wow.
Well, I did some research, and
And Metatron is the head of the archangels.
the movie, the Transformers. They use these names, biblical names, into Metatron. Isn't he part of the Transformers?
Transformers.
They
Yep.
actually use the names from this whole Bible thing. So I thought they had made it up, and I thought he made it up, and then I'm putting one and one together.
No, what you need to do is read the book of Enoch.
And what's in the book?
Well, all about the archangels and the guardians and the watchers of earth,
And that's
the
the movie.
knowledge they gave to Enoch, who was Noah's grandfather.
I got a question, Frank. Did the archangels, did they talk about this back in like Greek and Roman times? Because I know they have their own gods or their
Well,
own.
that's their own. That's their own mythology. but archangels were talked about from Enoch. When Enoch went to heaven, and he was brought up to heaven, and he met all the archangels and Metatron.
So how did we adapt over time from these Greek gods, Roman gods, to, I guess, the gods we
adapt
have?
from one religion to another. I don't
okay.
know. How did we go from the Egyptians to the Greeks to the Romans to the Hindus, the Buddhas, the
But the
How many religions are
archangels,
there?
are the archangels a
Hundreds?
byproduct of the Greeks?
no, the archangels are no.
They're in the
They
Bible.
could be, but I don't think so.
Well, the Bible was written after the Greeks, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so did they get the idea from the Greeks? Because the Greeks had all sorts of stuff going on. They had angels and gods and all sorts of stuff going on.
Well, Enoch went up to heaven. That was way before the Bible, though. He was the grandfather of Noah, so I don't know when that was. That was a long time ago.
And who's interpreting this? Who is writing about it? Isn't it man?
It's been passed down. I don't know who actually wrote I don't know who actually wrote the book of Enoch, but it's passed down from his teaching.
Look at the Dead Sea Scrolls that were lost have now been found, and they are in a beautiful museum. And what they have found, proof of it, is unbelievable. The information, the Ten
What's in it?
Commandments, everything that we talk about that you say was created by man is written thousands and thousands of years ago, and they're finding them buried in these lost caves.
Well, I always ask myself, the Bible was written by man, okay? Allegedly man that had the Holy Spirit in him. But the Holy Spirit, from what I'm learning from Frank, had years, centuries, hundreds of millions of years of these scrolls that would put aside
they were buried.
and buried. Archangels and everything. What is an archangel? When we come back from commercial, what is an archangel?
Yeah.
How does it play in man's future? Because apparently that was a society that lived on that, then it turned religious, and then the religious became 100 religions. So it's like this whole forward thing. I like to go backwards to one.
All right, let's do it. More to come when we come back. 888-994-4995. Studio A. More with the archangels, religion, spirituality, and Frank Ruffalo. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Melberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Melberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
Are you compromising your medical care for doctors out of your network? Are you tired of dealing with referrals to see a specialist? Are you aware that you can save up to $155 a month on your Medicare premiums? You need an all-in-one benefits company that can help with all of your Medicare plan needs. Call today, All-in-One Benefits Group at 954-614-5488. We're here to find an all-in-one plan for you. 954-614-5488. Call today for open enrollment.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. I'm a little cold.
Can you imagine what you're going to be like when you get older?
I'm getting old in here by the second.
I see that.
You don't find it cold?
No.
Maybe it's Frank's Archangel story.
No, I'm
I
actually.
don't know what the hell's going on. I'm freezing in here.
Is everyone cold but me?
You don't want anybody to age. That's why it's cold.
Exactly. Nobody should age in here. After the show, I'm usually cold, but during the show, I'm actually kind of warm. Although you've been sitting for about 4 hours. Is anyone laughing? Sorry. You haven't gotten up.
I got up.
Since 9 o'clock to get your King's Cake, but
Every time I get up, you make me do another show. Or watch another show.
it's true. I know.
And then you say, oh, do the elements. No!
It's called work. It's what you got to do.
I'm not as young as Josh. Josh runs around here, looks like a madman.
It's what you got to do what you got to do.
All right, so let's get back to these
the archangels?
archangel stuff.
And Enoch, who was Noah's grandfather.
Well, who's Noah?
Noah, as in the
From the
flood.
ark?
Yes. As in he saved everyone 2 by 2.
I heard they found that ark, that Noah's ark. They found it in
They
Siberia.
think they did.
The mountains of Siberia.
Yeah, they think they found it.
It's pretty amazing, all the things that have been written and all the things that have been found for people who need to see it to believe it does exist.
It's funny. How come these stories about Atlantis and all this, there's no written record of where the things are. They just disappear.
Except in Frank's book.
They think they found that too.
They found Frank's book?
Atlantis.
It's Atlantis.
Atlantis. They think they found it too. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but where did it all go? How did it disappear? What happened?
The flood.
Everything got buried, and then as
What kind of flood?
Well,
It isn't water.
the flood, the original flood
Was it mud?
from Noah. Yeah.
Was it
What
a
happened
meteorite?
is there was 400 archangels. 200 just came down to earth as fallen. They interacted with women here and produced the Nephilim, which is in the Bible, which were giants. And they went crazy, and that's when God said, that's it. This is wrong. We have to cleanse the earth, and that's where the flood came in, wiped out everything.
so Noah came
And
in.
tried to get rid of them and start all over again. So a lot of that knowledge went away.
You know, I'm going to go back to we were Martians and came here because it makes more sense to me
Well,
in that direction.
it's possible.
Now, was there something before Mars? Was there another planet? Because Mars and the country in this world are very similar. And
Well,
for
you have around 1 million galaxies in the universe, and the minimum amount would be 1 million planets that are capable of sustaining life. So yeah, there's probably life somewhere else.
I mean, we can't be the only planet that has life, right?
No.
All right, so the question here is if we're looking for other life, then they must be looking for us as well, no? It would only serve...
Well, what do you mean life? Life like we are, or life like an amoeba, plants?
I think we were an amoeba, and we were petri dished over billions of years to become what
Well,
we
I
are
think
today.
they probably found us, and considering the condition the Earth is in right now, they probably said, "The heck with these people. Well, I don't want to come back here anymore."
They're destroying their own people.
I mean, think about it. If you look at the pyramids and things that point towards the skies, right? Everybody knows so much about the stars and everything else. We had to have gotten this knowledge from someplace. It's not like we woke up one day and says, "Oh, look up there." I mean, we must have come from someplace that was probably Mars. Maybe before Mars, there was another planet. And we do what we do best.
We do best.
We destroy worlds.
But the archangels are all here watching over us, all I can tell you.
Braxton thought that we were actually War of the Worlds. He got all crazy over there. Don't worry about it. We will let people know that on the radio that that singing duet you guys did was just a dress rehearsal.
I thought it was fantastic, by
It
the
was
way.
great. It was just scary.
So this is
Scary.
War of the Worlds scary, you know, being invaded.
I can see people dancing in their cars as they drive down the street.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah.
Baxton, you have been missed, so we are glad you're back.
So what book are you holding on to
This
now?
is the next book I'm going to read. This is the third of the series, from Gabriel's Chalice on to, then I read the Tres Archangelis, and now Xantha Terra talks about Mars.
So what I want to know is you came up with this this archangel deal today. What was the reasoning behind doing that? What's going on?
I came up with the Archangel deal today.
You did, Freddie.
No, that I saw you post it. I had never seen you post that before. It wasn't today you posted it.
What
It
about
might have been-
Metatron?
Yeah.
Oh no, I said if you want to get a better insight into my books, you need to read the book of Enoch.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, I missed that. And the recipe of archangels, how does it parlay?
Well, archangels are one of the lower forms of angels in heaven.
Lower
The
form?
I thought they'd be the higher form.
No, they're one of the lowest. The seraphim and the cherubim and the seraphim are the higher angels. And then come the archangels. But they were set up as watchers and guardians of earth. There was 400.
Are they all good or bad?
Well, now they're all good.
Because the 200
But
were
originally
fallen.
they weren't.
They weren't.
200 decided they're going to do their own thing, came down to earth, and that caused a whole bunch of problems, which made God say, well, we need a flood.
Do you ever feel you're going about your day and you know there is angelic intervention? You just feel it, you know it, you sense it.
Well,
You may not see
don't
them.
remember, Lucifer Lucifer was God's most prized angel.
And
Until
what
he
was-
fell.
and
Until
what
he
was
said
his-
no.
What was his story?
And that's where he took him and a bunch of other ones and then left.
And where did they go?
You know, I don't know how many thousands and thousands of years ago that happened.
So now they're back?
Well, they never left.
That's the dark side.
That's the dark side.
That's the side that always challenges you to make the wrong decision.
I don't get that. So you're going to tell me that Lucifer would rather have you live in darkness and hate one another, but doesn't he want to be the king of everything?
He wants to control you. Lucifer wants you to live without God. Basically, that's what hell is, a place without God. And that Lucifer wants you to be in a place without God.
And mortals mimic these fallen angels?
Oh, of course.
Well, think about it. If everyone lived in fear and they went against each other, what would happen? It would perpetuate evil and darkness, changes in government, changes in world society, because everyone would all be about themselves and the ego and the them.
But
the dark
where would that take everybody? If everybody followed Putin's way and became...
Which is why there's the yin and the yang, the light and the
But then
dark,
what
the
hap-
good and the evil.
But then what happens?
You hope that good will supersede the evil. In my book, in my mind, good always does. Like that painting, the sun always comes up tomorrow. There's always a new day, a new dawn, a new light. There's always a new chance for goodness.
I got a question for Frank. Have you heard of the biblically accurate angels? Where I guess seraphim is just an eye with wings around it. It doesn't look like a human form.
They're different. They're different. I don't know exactly what they form. But seraphim and the.
And then it says
forgetting the names.
Thronus is just like rings going around or something like that.
Yeah, there's different forms of angels, but archangel is the lowest of the angels.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing because I really thought they were like the highest.
No.
Wow. There's angels higher than the archangels. There's more protection out there.
So what is the higher form of the angels?
Seraphim?
Seraphim. I keep forgetting the names.
So
Cherubim and seraphim.
So the seraphim angels are the highest. So that
Those are the
makes,
highest.
makes them the...
They're closer to God.
And where does man fall among all these angels?
Man was just made in God's image. That's it. I mean, that's.
But what purpose do we serve? Obviously, we're not angels.
We don't serve any purpose, really.
We serve
We
no
don't serve-
purpose.
We don't serve any purpose.
So we're here for what? Amusement? And like God likes to see sports. I mean, what's the deal?
God made us in His image.
For?
And wanted us to follow Him, but gave us free will. And that's where we have to choose between good and evil.
But hold on a second. We have to choose between him and Lucifer.
Basically.
Okay, so Lucifer and him, they have this bet going on. Who are you going to pick? What's the end game? You pick God, okay.
Well,
you pick God. You pick
The
Lucifer.
end game is eventually God's going to say that's enough, and then we're going to have to choose.
Well, then that's not an end game. That's a rigged game.
Well, then that's Judgment Day, and if you've made that,
There's not going to be an end game.
that
There's not going to
choice.
be an end to the world.
But why are we
there's going to be a
doing
massive
this?
change.
Okay, but the question I have, if God says I'm going to put an end to it, if he says I'm going to put it, or she says I'm going to put an end to it, then why do it? If you know that the end game is going to be either you
Well,
do it this
it's
way.
never going to be an end. God is never going to put an end to it.
He's
He's going to make a change,
Yeah.
and things on earth will change, but there won't be an end.
But then you don't have choice.
Then you do have a choice.
No, because if you choose wrong,
Then there you
God
go.
puts an end to it. If
you choose wrong, then
right,
you're going to be where you choose.
If you choose right, then God allows it to continue.
And then, right.
Okay, so my point again is you don't have choice. You either do it my way or you get the highway, which means it all gets wiped out.
You'll either be in one place, you'll either be in one zip code or the other.
Zip code isn't my way of putting it, you know? Because if you don't do it the right way, you're going to get the
You're either going to
the
be with God or
horns.
without God, and that's where it's going to be. Right now, we're plugging along on this planet that we're renting, on this space.
But why are we even here? We're useless.
Why are we even here, boy? Can't ask me that. I have no idea why we're
I
even
mean,
here.
we're useless. What do we do?
We're not useless.
What do we do?
Life is an experience. You're supposed to just have fun with it.
Your life never ends. So this is your time on Earth in your current form. And then when your body dies, your energy lives on. And then depending on how you lived your life here would depend on what zip code your energy lives in the afterlife.
So I could be one of them archangels, or I could be a Siflon or a Sifron.
You can be wherever, yeah. You can, wherever.
You come back as a duck
You can,
or goose.
Wherever your energy
And be
goes
part of
after this,
nature.
depending on how you acted here, is where your life is going to, how your eternal life is going to be.
We're all just shells. This body of
So
ours
we
is
are
just a
just
shell. We don't
billions
get
of
to
shells.
we don't get to choose what we look like. We just look like what we do.
Well,
And then our souls.
And
is,
it's been scientifically proven that they have shown that when a body passes, the energy leaves.
I get that. But the question
So
again,
where that energy goes is going to depend on your life that you
so
live
we're
here.
like the embryo of the next phase.
Basically, we're like, right.
Right, that makes more sense. We're the embryo of the next phase.
But
Like
you
a
have
butterfly.
you have an
We're in a cocoon,
opportunity
and then
though
we're
to
going-
do
and
something
then when we die,
good.
it's going to come out to the next phase.
So
Wherever the next phase is, I have no idea.
well, the next phase could be the archangels and all
It could
those
be
other interesting cast of characters that apparently we know all about, which makes no sense to me how we know it. Well, we ain't been there, but
How
we
do you
know
know?
about it.
Someone's been there.
Well, this is my.
Well, I think you took the other book home. I don't know, the Tres Archangelis. If you read that, Frank surmises that we learned from the archangels when they delivered a physical message that we had to unearth to see what their message was, and
Well-
then it went back down.
Yeah, but you are you're a physical to that next realm. So the end game here is when you die, you will now be put in a different.
Well, what
zip
if,
code.
when your past lives, one of your past lives, you were a great king, right? And you did great, amazing things.
But that's irrelevant.
Why?
Because it doesn't matter what you do. It matters at the end of this. I don't know how many lives you got to go through before you're put before where you're going to end up. I'm assuming. And can an archangel blossom into a higher angel?
That I have no idea. That's a status that's been set upon them. Who knows? I don't know.
You see, this is so confusing because I'm a firm believer that everything has a reason for being. Okay, so I'll settle that we're ducks waiting for the next realm. I get it. In past lives, maybe you got to go through 100 of them before you get to that next realm. I'll even agree to that. So you start out maybe as an archangel, and then are you allowed to work up to the next angel? You know what I'm saying? Is the Pope the next angel, or is the priest? Now, I know priests that are archangels, right? If you look at the way things work out, because they're not too good either. Now, is there a fall off below archangel? You end up in hell?
The fallen angel ended up in another zip
Yeah,
code.
I mean, priests and the Pope, they're all human beings too. They're no different from you and I.
But I understand that, but we're no longer just human beings. We are actually ducks.
No,
Waiting for slaughter
you-
to decide
you're
where
an
we're going to go.
energy. You're a soul. You just got to keep your soul clean and nice and good.
But then the bottom line here is God gives you choice to pick good or bad.
Yes.
If you pick bad, game over. That's
Why would
not.
you?
But
yeah,
that's not
because
choice.
that's called justice.
But that's not choice.
Why? You
Choice
chose
means
to
that
make
you
a bad
are
one.
allowed to live like Putin, evil.
Yeah. He chose to be like that.
That's right. Or Mussolini or Hitler. These guys were evil, in the evilest form. And that's their dilemma. When they die, they're going to fall off the cliff and, go visit Luther. Whatever his name is.
Lucifer.
Right, Lucifer. But the bottom line here is that there really isn't a choice. You either live it right or you're going to be served up at death.
But that's your choice. And some people would rather be with the fallen than be with God.
And how does that make sense? Would you
It
rather?
doesn't. But
why would anybody pick to
what
be?
part of humanism makes sense?
Then we're back to what the hell are we useful for? Why are we here?
Well, look what just happened. We just talked about those 2 network news anchors that were let go. They chose, at least one of them chose, to disseminate information that might have not been truthful, right? In a court of law, we've been told that information they deem not truthful. Whether he believed it or not, he became a scapegoat. He was told to say it, whatever it was. He chose that for whatever reason. Did he choose?
He chose that because they paid him to say it.
But it was a choice.
It was his job.
But no, it was his choice.
If he didn't say it, if he hadn't said it, they would have fired him right there.
That's fine. He could have
So then there's the ethics in, do you just say what you say because someone tells you, or do you go by ethically what you feel is right and morally of conduct and don't do it and say, you know what? I have faith in God that I will find the job that suits me and I'm going to leave this $20 million a year job.
Right. You're going to walk away with 20 million reasons.
If someone,
it doesn't happen.
If someone told you to say something that was ethically and morally against your belief system.
$20 million?
Yes.
I'd probably do it.
Even if it was ethically and
And I'm
morally
going to
against
tell
what
you
you
something.
believe.
I look in this room and you probably do it too. You got to understand something.
You're going to say
You
it's a
can only
slippery slope.
work. It's a slippery slope. You can only work goodness from the inside. That's all I got to say. Okay, people that pay you to say the wrong thing happens every freaking day. And then you go, oh, I can't believe I said that. Or why did I say that? Or then he's going to get another job now. Where is he going to become the Pope? He ain't going to become the Pope. He just is what he is. He was paid to say.
Well, look what happened to Megyn Kelly. She went from Fox. She was hired by NBC. She said something during a Halloween dress-up thing.
She was crazy.
And where is she now?
I don't know where is she.
I don't know.
You got millions of people tuning in to watch this one guy listen to the words that he says, and they get, I don't want to say brainwashed, but they get
incited.
Whatever you want to call it. They feed off of this and they believe in it. That's the problem.
You see, this is scripted. All those shows are scripted. So they're on a script and they're saying whatever they believe that their followers are going to like and say.
That's right.
Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not so true.
Well, that doesn't even
sometimes
matter.
It's basically true, sometimes it's basically false, but it's scripted. And that script is approved before it goes on the air, and it's done.
That's right.
So,
and the guy that got fired, he followed the script.
So now if something happened at the upper level of that organization that somebody we got to do something, he's just an employee.
That's because the board, the stock board, wants somebody fired because they got to take money out of their pocket to pay
That's
that $7 billion whatever.
So
they're
somebody's
looking for
got to
somebody.
be the scapegoat.
Exactly.
We got to do something, so we'll pick him.
Now I just read that the guy from the Paul Boys, the January 6 riots, the
insurrection,
the Proud Boys, the guy just turned in and said that Trump made him do it. It was Trump's words that made him incite the January 6th riot. Now, I don't know if they're telling him, you say that in public and we'll take off some years, because he's going to jail. So he just came out with his attorney. He says it was Trump's words that made him do it. I can't believe people make you do something because of words, but apparently I'm wrong.
People believe what other people say.
Then I'm back to what the hell are we doing? Why are we here?
Well, I hope you and I are here for the other side of the conversation.
Anymore. I'm just freezing to death here. I don't know. Can anybody tell me why we're here?
I mean, if you watch the movie Soul, it kind of explains it a little bit. But I mean, I feel like I'm here to inspire others. And if I inspire them, I hope I inspire them in a good light and not in a bad light. So you just got to find your reason for being here.
You agree with that?
Have you seen the movie Soul? It's a Disney movie, but it's like he kind of just finds his own purpose in his own life because everybody is like we've all grown up in different situations and then you go back down, and you go back up. Everyone just, everyone grows. It's just a different way of doing it.
What's your sole purpose?
So we're back to choice again.
It's all about choice.
So I remember when I was a kid growing up, if I was going to do something wrong, like if I was going to steal a popsicle out of a candy store, my mother used to come forward in my head and say, no, you cannot do that. I smack you if you do that. So I never did it. But that was guilt. Now, am I guilty of a sin because it was guilt that stopped me, but it was my heart that wanted it, taking something that did not belong to me? Am I guilty?
No.
No?
No.
Why?
I mean, we're allowed to have our thoughts. We have thoughts. We have inappropriate thoughts. We have bad thoughts. We all have like thoughts that you would think that make you a bad person, or you would be weary about that, but you stopped yourself from doing it, and that is what like makes that part of you good, is that you didn't
Even though
follow
I had
through.
the bad thoughts.
I mean, like, okay, to be honest, once I stole chapstick from Walmart. Like, I should not have done that, but that doesn't make me a bad person. But, like, I do feel bad that I did that. I do feel guilty that I did that. I should not have done that. But
So if I wanted to commit murder, but I never did it, am I guilty of a sin?
No.
No? Because I didn't do it.
because you're allowed to have your thoughts.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have your thoughts.
So I am allowed to have thought. So I am allowed to say in my own head, evil. I can be evil inward. Do you believe that, Frank? You could be evil inward?
You could be evil inward.
In other words, I can have thoughts that are very bad, but if I don't do them, I'm okay.
To a point.
Tell me the point.
Yeah.
Well, if you have evil thoughts and you keep those evil thoughts internal, but you don't act on them, you still have evil thoughts. So your soul has been tainted with those evil thoughts. So, once you have reached the end of your human life and you're brought before the judgment where they judge you for what you did and what your life was, all those evil thoughts that you had come back during that time, and for you to go to a better place, you're going to have to go to an interim place to purify those evil thoughts.
How do you purify an evil thought?
Through penance.
So all
through-
these evil thoughts
Baptize.
get marked down somewhere, and then I'm going to...
Yeah. That's a book
Boy,
of life.
I'm in a lot of
Everything you
trouble.
do gets marked down somewhere.
I'm no, I seen Bad
have.
Place, though.
Like the good place is basically there's two worlds. There's the good place and then there's the bad place. And there's this like person who tallies up all your good and evil points, and like everything you've ever done, they know what you've done. So
That's Santa Claus.
they tell you kind of like, but they tally it up and like how many good points you have, you get to go in the good place. But if you don't make that amount of points, you go into the bad place. And it's like
It's a point system.
I think you should watch the good place. I think it would be
I'm going
like
to tell you,
I think it's an ethical system, an ethical dilemma.
But I have a problem with that whole ethical system.
I know you
think
do.
that God gives you free choice. I'm back to that. You know, you choose bad or you choose good. And if you choose bad, whether it's in thought or if in action, if
Well,
you're
look at some of these leaders you talked about.
they're bad. But who am I to judge? Me judging
I don't
is
know, when
bad.
they kill thousands and thousands of people, that's not judgment. That's loss of other human life. You're not supposed to take another life. So
Even if he's bad. If a guy
Yes.
kills 1 million people,
that's
a la Hitler,
that was his choice.
am I allowed to put him to death?
Technically, no.
Am I allowed to put him to death?
Well, that's an ethical decision. That's what they asked today. Is it an eye for an eye?
Me removing his soul, am I allowed to put him to... God never gave me the right to do that. There should be no war. He never asked me to kill people either, but you see some of these mad people that you got to put an end to it. So do I go to war and stop the crazy? World War II get out of hand? What do I do?
You got to try and stop the evil.
You see a man beat up...
But sometimes what the dilemma is, what the human dilemma is sometimes you're creating evil to get rid of evil.
Right.
So 2 wrongs make 1 right.
Right, you're losing lives, right? We're losing boots on the ground. We're losing soldiers.
There is going to be a debate that's going to last a while.
2 wrongs
Are you
equals
allowed
one
to
right.
create evil to get rid of evil?
That's it.
This is why
And
things.
man is probably the most evil
Yeah.
creating animal on Earth. There's only 2 animals on Earth that kill just to kill.
Man is one.
Man is one, and chimpanzees are the other. And they are our closest relative, genetically.
There's something in our wiring that's wrong. Our
We're
brains.
going to take a commercial break, I think,
Our
on that
brains
wiring
are,
note.
are wired.
Let's take
wrong.
maybe a long commercial break. More to come on the other side of this 1 o'clock hour. 888-994-4995. Chime in. Let us know what your thoughts are. Freddie's taking this to a whole nother level.
I'm asking the question. We're
Stay
here.
tuned.
Why
We're
are we here? Apparently, for no reason are we here that I can say we're here.
We're here to make a difference, a positive
Difference of
difference for the
what?
rest of the world.
Bad and good, good and bad.
Good. Good always trumps evil. Or I wouldn't be Dawn.
Let's go to Ukraine, and I wanted you to tell those people that that's true.
That's what they're fighting for. We'll be right back.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are 2 good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Would you like to hear better for as little as 10 cents a day? Now you can with the all-new Audion hearing aids. The average hearing aid lasts about 3 years. Ours, at only $99 a pair, means you're paying as little as 10 cents a day to hear better. And to make things even better, we'll give you a 45-day money-back guarantee. Skip the doctor and get hearing aids delivered straight to your door. We've eliminated all the middlemen to offer you a factory direct price of only $99 a pair. Join over 300,000 people just like you who took advantage of our 45-day trial offer. Now you can hear better too for just 10 cents a day. Call now and order your $99 pair of Audion hearing aids with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Plus, get free 3 to 5 day shipping.
800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. 800-259-1328. That's 800-259-1328.
Todo Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
Brand new shows, only on AMP2 TV. We have All-in-One Insurance, Latin Hustle con Karen, Meta Magazine Show, Pitch 2 Production, The Florida Love Show, The Sixth Borough, Meet the Experts, Reinvented Life, Lights in the Night, and The Hangout. Tune in so you don't miss these amazing new shows. Only on AMP2 TV.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I can't lie. No more of the darkness. All my pictures seem to fade to black and white. I'm growing tired and can't stand still before me. Frozen here on the ladder of my life. Too late to save myself from falling. I took a chance and changed my way of life. But you misread my meaning when I met you. closed the door and left me blinded by the light. Don't let the sun go down on me, yeah. Oh, although I search myself, there's always someone else I see. In just another fragment of your life to wander free. But losing everything is like the sun going down on me. I can't find the romantic line. But you see me once, and you see the way I feel. Don't discard me just because you think I mean you harm. But these cuts I have, whoa, they need love to help them heal. Whoa, don't let the sun go down on me, yeah. Oh, although I search myself, there's always something else I see. In just another fragment of your life to wander free. Yeah, but you're losing everything. It's like the sun going down on me. Don't let the sun go down on me, yeah. Although I search myself, there's always something else I see. I'm just another fragment of your life to wander free, yeah. But losing everything is like the sun going down on me.
And he disappears.
Your True Oldies Listener's Guide. Listening in the Palm Beaches? That's 95.9 FM. On the Treasure Coast? You want 106.9 FM. In Boca? It's 95.3 FM. We've got Fort Lauderdale and Broward County covered with 96.9 FM. And you can always hear us anywhere at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
And if you call right now, I'll give you the tickets. Right now. Call. What? If you call right now, except for Josh, you will get the tickets to Sunfest. And
2 free
it is
tickets to Sunfest?
2 free tickets, May 6th, Saturday. This Saturday.
Not this Saturday, next Saturday.
It says May 6th.
It's not May yet.
What is it?
Or April 25th, next
You have
Saturday.
me all confused.
May, I haven't done anything.
A week from this Saturday, you can go to Sunfest, enjoy all the entries and everything else on there. I got 2 tickets. They're right here. If you call me right now, you'll win them. Just tell me your name.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995. Anyone been to Sunfest? Frank and Chris, you guys ever been? I've never been either.
I have.
I got to tell you.
I went courtesy of iHeartRadio.
Oh, I bet it was good.
It was crazy.
I'm just like a not outdoor hot concert kind of person.
I was in that thing and people stood up and there was no chairs. I thought we were going to sit down and watch the concert. Everybody stands up and puts their butt in my face. I did not have a good time.
That just means you're too old to go to Sunfest.
No, it just means they got stinky butt.
What are they going to have there? Do we know what the lineup is?
No, this is just the tickets. No, we have to look up the
We got to look up the lineup and see what it is.
Where'd I get the tickets?
So give us a call.
Put it on your mic. What?
His name's A Boogie with a hoodie.
A Boogie with a hoodie.
A
Now,
Boogie
that's
with
something
a
I
hoodie.
definitely want to enjoy. A Boogie with a hoodie. Frank, our favorite group, is playing A Boogie with a hoodie. Can you imagine all of us out there wearing hoodies? Hey, look. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up. Get on our website. Get a Boogie with a hoodie. There you go. Boogie with a hoodie. You wear this into studio and I'll give you a cup of coffee, a couple of bags, and maybe a surprise.
Brooklyn Cafe Show merch. And the picture behind you is by Mag Chop.
Yes, this is on Friday's show, and I'm going to be hanging in the lobby. This is for sale. And also The Birth of a Soul.
Oh, what does that mean?
I don't know, ask Frank. Birth of a Soul.
And Kenny is on the front of Frank's book, Operation Retribution. Frank brought in 2 more copies for us to have today.
You just got it going on all around you. You got artists, you got books, you got paintings, you got rebirth paintings, associated paintings going on.
He's a man of few words.
Kenny's a good man. I've known Kenny for many years.
He is a good man.
Many years.
And how's the movie business going? Any updates?
No updates. Still plugging in. We have another meeting on tomorrow. And,
did you go up to Atlanta?
Not too early. We got legal things I have to take care of first.
I tell your partner, get up there, get up there.
Ever wonder why you're on this great path and you're doing great things,
And it begins again.
You hit a speed
I
bump.
was trying to get away from it.
And then you hit a speed bump, and you have to either overcome the speed bump and assume that your archangels, your angels, your guardians, whoever you believe in, gotcha, and you got to keep going.
There's no speed bumps. Those are lessons.
There you go.
Who has it tougher, women or men?
Tougher where?
To these changes, to overcome the challenges. Who's it harder for, women or men?
It just depends
Men?
on who.
It's harder for men?
I think it just depends on who you are. I don't mean always business challenges. There's life challenges. There's things to do. There's financial challenges.
Is it harder to be a man or a woman in this world?
Woman. Harder to be a man because everybody's trying to demasculate you.
It's
hold on. Let's get a mic. Let's get a mic.
Has has evolved.
Take it easy.
It's all
Give him a mic.
it's all been like bringing down of women. Like women have always been second class citizens.
Hey, hold on. Time out.
Do you know women have been second class citizens?
Hey, we can't all talk at once. Lord have mercy. All right, give him a mic so that we can find out the culprit of the argument, because nobody heard anything but the rambling. All right, what was that?
Mic check.
Through all of like society, no matter how much
Year
we've
one.
evolved, women have always been
one.
second class citizens to men because men have always taken power and putting us in that.
Okay, do you think you have a
social power.
tough life? Forget
about
the society
history.
of a whole. You as Chelsea,
Today.
Or do you have a hard time living your life?
Personally, no, because I'm financially I'm very stable with where my parents are. But I feel like when you think about how going through a woman like mentally, like how you kind of see how society's changing, how things are moving, how when I get into the workforce, the challenges that I might have, or like the things that I worry about when I like walk down the street by myself, or like how I like view my surroundings or different people, then that's kind of tough because you know as a woman like, oh, I can't really walk out by myself because I might have a chance of being like hurt, stolen, or et cetera, et cetera. I have to be weary of when I'm around men, how I speak to them.
Hold on.
That's a whole lot in one sentence.
Hold on. You're talking about not you currently, but you're talking about things in the past.
No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about. Oh, first I was talking
Because
about.
she just asked you about you today.
Yeah,
You say that you're fine because you
Today?
have everything you need.
Abraham, do you feel for you yourself, Abraham,
Today.
You said Ava?
Ava?
Oh.
Is that what she calls you?
I didn't know my nickname like that. I didn't know
See,
me
that's
on
why
this
I rather call
See?
you G-Man because it gets
G-Man?
complicated.
We all hear nicknames around here.
Today are you. Is it harder for you to be a man today? Not the history of, but today.
For you.
For me, it's never hard for nothing. I put my mind to it, you know?
How about you?
But-
Okay.
But is it a challenge for a lesser man or for somebody
For a
else?
lesser man, it's a challenge because the feminists that are out here nowadays, femininity is good, and I love women, but they go about a way. They're trying to bring men down. If you look at the movies nowadays, you can see it's demasculating men. They're doing infantilizing people, and what else they are doing? Desensitization, pretty much. So everybody just step on you.
What do you
They got
consider
you in a lock.
masculine or feminine though? Like what
Say it
is
again?
what are your definitions of what's masculine, what's feminine? Because it's changed throughout history and everyone
There's
how
no
that's been
change
evolved.
to it. They're trying to change it so they could control you.
Okay, Josh, how about you? Is it hard to be you?
I had to change up my friend groups just because they said I can't cry because I'm a man.
And that shouldn't be right. Everybody has feelings.
I can't
Well,
share.
I think you should change your friends group, period. Because they cry.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't even talk feelings with them. The way they talk, it hurts my ears.
Okay.
So I have to find my own place where I'm welcomed.
It's really funny because after everything we talked about today, good and bad, that we still hold on to old ways of thinking. Because the old ways of thinking always put women down. And the old ways of the new ways of thinking, men have to defend themselves because of old ways. But the problem here is that neither one of us are
Do you have-
school to believe that that is what we should do.
Which is why I don't know where Abraham went, but he brought in a show last week. The lady who does it, what's her name? OGT.
Rita.
How does she
Rita.
pronounce her name?
Rita.
OGT?
Rita?
Oh, you talking about my hair?
Your hairdresser.
Yeah, that's her name, Rita. I don't know her real name.
Rita OGT.
Okay,
No,
OGT
her
it
real
says on
name.
social media, but Rita.
Yeah,
and
Rita.
she wants to bring forward African culture,
Yes, ma'am.
about bringing the past forward and teaching culture, not in a negative sense, not saying women in Africa were suppressed, not saying anything bad, but teaching the culture and the language. She says that people don't speak the language, the food. So she's taking the past and she's taking it to a positive light, right? She's not going to talk about anything of the negative, but using that as a teaching tool, which I can't wait to bring her back in.
Yeah, I can't wait neither to start off her show because it'll bring light on so many dark places in
Well,
Africa.
she's from Nigeria, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
You can't talk
And women are not even considered the
Right.
equal to men in Nigeria.
Not even looked at like that.
So all of a sudden, that whole way of old ways of thinking is back to the forefront. And again, I want to continue the conversation to good and evil.
But it goes back to choice, right? She has a choice on her show
But
to
does-
say,
but does she?
I'm going to bring forward how women were suppressed in Nigeria, and my mother and my grandmother were this, if they were in fact. Or she comes forward and says, I want to bring my culture forward and teach people what they don't know, because what they don't know, they don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
The thing is that you know the difference between right and wrong.
And there's some bad atrocities that happen.
But you know the difference between right and wrong. Now that could work for you or against you. You know how women like it when a man opens the door, but they don't like it when they say, here, you pay the bill.
I don't know if they mind.
Not always the case.
That's not always the case.
Not always the case. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But it does happen. Because a man is supposed to pick up the tab.
But that's a difference in personality, not necessarily a man or a woman. That's just a difference in people.
If
and
you're a man, you're supposed to pick up the tab.
for them, it's different now. Just grab the other mic.
If you're a man,
Am
you're
I
supposed
sharing?
to pick up the tab.
I know. Ask Frank. Frank's from a different generation than
Who
they
picks
are.
up the tab, Frank?
The man's supposed to pick up the tab.
Who picks up the tab? It depends on what the situation is.
Dinner. First
I
date.
mean, if you're taking somebody out to dinner,
Yeah.
and you inviting somebody to dinner,
What if they
you should
invited
take up
you?
the, you should pick up the tab, no
But
matter what
if
sex they are.
What if they invited you?
Then they should pick up the tab.
See, they'll still think that you should pick up the tab, though. Some women, anyways. I mean, if I ask a guy on a date, then I would pay because I'm asking you out. That makes sense to me. But
If
that's
I
also
ask somebody out and say, let's go. I'm asking you out. We're going to go to dinner. I should pick up the tab.
Because you invited.
If somebody comes to me and says, I want to take you out to dinner, they should pick up the tab.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference what sex they are.
Now in New York, when somebody came into my town, I always picked up the tab. Because
Right. If
it's
somebody's
my
coming
town.
and visiting, you're going
But
to take
that's
them out
old
to dinner,
school.
you pick up the tab.
That was old school. It didn't matter man, woman, or child, right?
Right.
But nowadays, are we faced at dilemmas of what women should do and what men should do? Because that's the problem, is that we have
Well,
all of this
the lines are
boxing.
being blurred right now because sometimes you'll have a situation where the man opens the car the car door for a woman, opens the door for a woman, and they graciously accept and say thank you. And sometimes they open the car door and they say, I don't need my car door open, I can do it myself. So
Yeah.
everything is getting absurd.
Well, that
We're blurring the
depends.
lines and everything's getting absurd. And sometimes you don't know how to react, how you would normally react. I would,
And if you don't do anything, there's something wrong
and if
with
you don't do
doing
anything,
it.
you're doing something wrong.
You're doing
If you do-
something
if you're doing something right, and it could be wrong.
Bring me a
Then
glass
if you
of
do something
water.
wrong, it
but
could be right.
Bring me a glass of water. Here it is. No, I don't want you to bring me a glass of water.
I can do it myself.
I'm still trying to figure that one out.
So
You can't figure out our minds. That
You
I
can't.
can't tell you.
It's-
But yes, lines have blurred. And have cultures been suppressed and repressed? Yes. Is it hard to be whatever culture? Whatever culture you are, they're going to say
I
that.
just think it's hard to be human.
That's exactly
need,
what it is.
We need to remember what happened in the past.
Not to repeat it again.
And whatever was done right, continue to do that right. And whatever was done wrong, don't do that again. But we cannot eliminate the past and say we're not going to talk about that because we didn't like what happened back then. So let's
But do
eliminate
you
all that.
relive the past? Do you relive the past? I'll give you an example. My uncles used to tell me, just like Josh said, you're not supposed to cry. So my uncles took away my toys when I was a child because I used to cry. And my brother walked up and he says, come on, let me go buy you a new toy. Ain't nobody going to tell you you can't cry. My brother was a little bit different. He was very protective when I was a child. So the problem here is that sometimes we do things because of society, not because of what we think. So how do you separate the two? How do you do the right thing when the right thing is frowned upon by society? They don't let me say certain words.
So if
I
someone
grew
write
up
the
on
words,
those words. What?
They're not the right words to say.
But who said that?
Society.
No,
They're
you
offensive.
said that.
They're
No,
offensive.
you're saying it's offensive.
Me
I'm
and
saying
Josh and Trippy and
But
Mark,
I'm
yeah.
saying I grew up with those words. Back in the day, they weren't offensive.
Well, I have an old belief that, it's not against the law to be offended.
I mean, neither. Sometimes you got to kick you know why a mule kicks? To get your attention. Sometimes you got to kick some butt to get some attention.
Well, I know that's why you do what you do, but still. How did we end up in this conversation anyway?
Because, because again, this is right and wrong. Do we really have choice? Or is God going to wipe the slate clean and says, you know what, you guys can't handle choice? Like the movie, you
look
can't
at the
handle
great,
the truth.
Look at the Great Flood.
Look at it. Let me see. Where is it?
Somehow mankind continued to exist, right? Not everything
I
was
still
wiped
haven't
out.
figured that one out.
There's the Ark.
The Ark. Well, there were two of everything on this, so I guess we came away with a win. Yeah.
You were saying, like, do we really have a choice, which I found was funny because they say that everything happens for a reason and, like, you have a purpose in life. So it's like we have free will, but do we really?
Do we?
Because if our life is already planned out and everything happens for a reason, like, are we? It's like, I mean, unless we have multiple paths, which I guess could be an option. You know what I mean? But it's still not. It's still planned out. No matter what choice you make, there's always already something.
Well,
for
if you choose the wrong way, you're going to get the horns. You know, you pull a bull.
Well, look how you ended up here. The craziest path of all. One of
How
the
did I end up here?
No, Trippy.
No, she's like a book in itself. Frank,
Right?
you want a book to write about?
Hey, you want to write a book about me, Frank? Let's get together.
Let's do it.
One of our show hosts is out for dinner, meets her, sends her in here on the night of his show, and she says, I'm here for an interview. And we said, you're what? I'm here to be on his show. No, I'm here for an interview with you. We said, okay, what do you do? I'm a hostess at a restaurant. okay, and what are we going to do with you? But here you are, right?
And she has a gig with, you have a gig, and again, with Ken, you're going to be doing some modeling for Kenny on a show. Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, but he has a fashion show on May 19th, and I'm going to be walking for him. And then I've modeled a couple of times now since then too as well. So
for him?
No, just other stuff. But like I also modeled your guys' T-shirt and stuff, and it's on the website, or on Instagram and stuff.
Together.
Yep. So.
See, you're walking the right line.
Exactly.
But how she got here, it's just a crazy path.
Well,
and it was so funny because that day was an Arizona day for you guys.
That's right.
And I'm from Arizona, and it was just everything happens for a reason. It was meant to be.
Right. We were out at this place. We haven't heard from them again, and everything in this place was Arizona. And then you walk, and it was all Arizona again, and it was like the third Arizona that day.
But there's but stories like that are written in here every day. You got California in here. I told her. I said, you can't go home. She said, why? I said, massive flood.
Well, rumor has it that you're not going home. Someone says to me today, so she's not going back to California?
For what?
I don't know.
No, she lives in California.
Or maybe not.
Or maybe not.
I don't know. It's choice. But she's right. You choose.
There's only one choice. There's the right choice. If you do the wrong choice, you put yourself on the hit list.
Allergies?
If you put, I have allergies. If you put yourself on the hit list, then what happens. And I don't even know how to approach that anymore, because I wake up every morning and I am saddened by the amount of negative, bad stuff.
But don't you think, this is back to media, they do that for a reason?
But it happened. A guy takes a gun and shoots 16 people, and 4 of them are kids. It happened. There ain't no media covers this. It happened.
In this country.
I mean, gun control. You have to put every weapon away, and then that infringes on your rights to control a gun. I guess you have a right to kill. No, wait a minute, let me erase that. You have a right to have a gun to protect yourself. Wait a minute, let me erase that. I'm very confused.
We have the right to bear arms in case our government tries to overturn us. We have the right to fight back.
Evil is going to exist.
Really why that was put in place.
Evil is going to exist whether there's guns or not.
That's what I said, because back in the day, they had swords, they had spears, and they had the crucifixions upside down and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
nothing's more eviler than
close to 3,000 people were killed in 9/11, and no gun was used.
And all of that was
box cutters, though, technically were used.
All right, let's take a commercial break.
World-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now, you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 855-993-2180. That's 855-993-2180. Again, 855-993-2180.
Come on down to the Brooklyn Cafe and enjoy our delicious 100% Arabica organic coffee. You can also tune into the Brooklyn Cafe show and have the chance to win a free bag. For more information on how to get your own bag, check us out at thebrooklyncafe.tv.
Do you enjoy watching the Brooklyn Cafe show? Well, now you can represent your admiration with our merchandise. We have amazing t-shirts in a variety of sizes for you and your friends. Shop now at brooklyncafe.tv/shop.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing. What's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Brooklyn Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out. Thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought. You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You can't say that.
I can't say nothing. I say anything is offensive.
Even
Unbelievable.
Trippy's supporting you. She says,
Has
didn't mean it
anybody
that
ever
way.
said you say something offensive?
No.
But you have.
Probably.
But then nobody says nothing to you. See, that's the difference between our cultures.
No, because I think if I say something offensive, I probably know it is, and I'll say, well, what's the right way to say it? You just say it.
So you backhand it.
Yes.
So you say it and say, listen, I should have said that a different way.
Right, exactly.
But you get away with it.
I said, wait, I didn't mean it that way. I kind of mean it the other way. Yes, because I caught myself in saying something that probably didn't come out the right way.
Okay, so I'm going to say something offensive and say, oh, I should have said it some other way.
Yes.
And I get away with that.
Yes, because it's almost like an apology that you knew you said it
So
wrong.
as long as I'm offensive with an apology at the end of it, I'm good to go? Does this make sense to
We're
you?
going to put a social media post of Freddie of like this balloon of, I'm sorry, I'm offensive type of thing.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm sorry that I'm about to offend you. I'm sorry I'm going to offend you.
You got people in the doorway here.
gonna-
It's a busy set. Everyone must like
Even
this
Braxton
conversation.
is wondering what the hell's going on. Wow.
Everyone must like this conversation is all I can tell you.
It's unbelievable.
We have to say congratulations to G-Man. He graduated on Saturday, so big news. He feels, how do you feel? Free? Old?
A little bit old.
Are you going to get
but
your
I feel
master's?
free. No, I couldn't. I would die. I'll die in school.
No, don't die.
Why
I
are you
don't want
why
to.
are you saying you couldn't? You mean you choose
I don't
not
want.
to?
I choose not to do it, and I won't, because I don't have time for it. School is
Not
a money
yet.
prison.
Not yet.
All I
School
can
is a
tell
money
you,
prison.
in the 6 months that you've been here, you've changed, you've matured, you've become a leader, you've got a great positive attitude.
It's a money prison.
Everyone looks up to you.
If
See?
you hit lotto, would you go get your master's?
If I hit lotto, then I'll probably spend some money on some school lessons. But for
But look
now,
what you
it's a
learned.
money prison.
You learned a lot.
I learned a lot from you guys, and I thank you guys a lot from what you
Not
taught
from
me.
us. You taught us, but I think
No, I mean, you learned a lot in school.
Oh.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
the
that
thing you
too.
used to go to.
Professor Oliver, if you ever watch, if you're watching the Brooklyn Cafe, Professor Billy Oliver, best teacher, best professor in
You
Miami
learned a
Dade
lot
College.
from school.
Billy Oliver.
You know, I look at Elisa yesterday. She gave a great presentation on what she's learned in school.
Well, I told you when I first interviewed that girl that she had a secret weapon, and she let it loose yesterday. But everybody here has a forte. They have their what Josh calls niche.
A niche.
A niche. Everybody. I used to think they had an itch, but I guess it's a niche.
I
Oh,
really
I'm
need
sorry.
that buzzer.
I
Wait,
should have
where's
said
that
that
buzzer
another
again?
way.
Offensive.
I should have said that another way.
Again, offensive.
I should have said that another way. You believe this? I could be offensive with an apology. I love it.
Thank you.
And there it is. There it is. There is my call to anthem.
We got a board buzzer. I don't know. That's just the nature of what it is.
So during commercial break, I was talking to Frank because Frank has a book coming out that's going to sort of show us the way. Is that fair?
It's going to show us what's going to happen if you choose the wrong way.
Choose the right way.
That's what it's going to show us.
See, that's a scary thing. I had to have Braxton and Mr.
It's
Do
going to
right
show
sing
us
again.
when it's going to show us what's going to happen when God decides He had enough.
But you know, it's really funny then, Frank, because I find it hard to believe that we have choice when we really don't. We should be picking right. Because to pick wrong isn't what this equation is about, correct?
Okay, but look, we can go back to Gabriel's Chalice. In your first book,
yeah,
you've got 2 viruses, diseases
And they came true.
that we just went through in the past 3 years. You wrote that book in 2010.
I released, 2000. I wrote in 2000. I actually wrote it, started writing that book around 2008. It was released in 2011.
Right, and then we lived it for 3-4 years. We're
Right.
still coming out of this.
Now
we didn't learn, and it even.
But did your book have the aftermath? Did you do the aftermath after the disease did what it did?
Yes.
That's the next book.
What's the next book?
Tres Archangelis is what happens after
The disease.
Judgment Day.
And that book talks about.
It talks about man still not believing, his lack of faith, and God challenges man to fix the right that he did wrong.
So we're still in the soup. You know, if I had
We
known that.
believe for a little bit, but then you just don't believe.
And
You
then
start testing
man
the waters.
decides, and that's what happens. Man fixes what happened.
It's like after 9/11, everyone, you didn't realize this, put flags on their car. Everyone supported America. You didn't think anyone outside of New York even knew what went on, but everyone came together as a country.
And then that faded away.
And then it starts fading away.
Not only does it fade away, but a lot of the reasons we went to other countries and protected people against the Taliban and all that, like Afghanistan, and we left there, and all of a sudden it's become all over again. It's exactly, if not worse, than it was right before 9/11. But the other thing is that when we were in the middle of the virus, and there was nobody going out. I'll never forget those pictures and film of New York City being a ghost town. New York City that I grew up in was a ghost town. There was nobody in the street, nobody there. It looked like one of those movies, right?
Still look how it's changed.
Meisner Park. I'll never forget the day I drove up Meisner Park. Couldn't believe there wasn't anybody in the mall. Not a single person, not a single bird, nothing.
Not now.
And I went to the concert the other day, I went to the movies, and I look at the numbers, and we still are right back to what took us and brought us to that thing. Now, they'll say you're supposed to live your life. Should you live your life cleaner? Should you be a little bit different in your life? Should you have a better approach? I still think it comes down to cleanliness. I think that the human being is a very dirty person.
But if you think about judgment of God, we talked when pandemic started, it was Passover and Easter Sunday, right? Biblically, we all said, you look at the 12 plagues, we looked at where it was, Jews left Egypt, what we're talking about, Passover. Here was this message on this great holy week, but yet, did we learn?
But we did nothing about it. What can you do?
The world shut down and we still didn't learn.
But what can you do? What's the learning lesson? Let me ask Frank. What can we learn from COVID?
What can we learn?
That we can do. That do better.
You have to do what's right. What you think is right and what is morally right. And even though everybody else may think that's wrong, you have to do what's right. And I'm not going to... We have changed everything around where good is bad and bad is good.
Right.
And because everybody's doing bad, then, well, everybody's doing bad, then that must be good.
It must be acceptable, right? Because they're okay.
Just because something is done on a massive scale does not make that the norm.
Two wrongs don't make a right. Back to that.
And that's and we have been brainwashed by that little square box that sits on our wall, and we listen to all kinds of nonsense that comes out, and that's what's great about shows like this, because we get rid of the nonsense.
But what if we turned off every television set in America?
Well, then you go out of business.
Let's turn it off. Let's go back to 1816 when there was no TV. Okay, there was no radio. Would it change man without that?
I think it would.
Box?
I think it would change the mindset, because we've been given a mindset. We have been programmed daily with a certain mindset, and that mindset has not changed our way of thinking.
It plants seeds. I think the kids would go out and play more. I think they would go, if your phones were put away, there'd be more face-to-face communication. And you got to learn from that. Is it always going to be good? No, because
It's a little bit of everything that's happening that's infects us. I mean, if you look at some of the video games that kids are playing instead of going outside and play, it's the mindset that are in these video games. Oh, somebody says, well, a video game is nothing wrong with that video game. Well, technically.
Right.
But if a person is sitting in front of that entertainment system and listening to that same drone of evil that are in these video games, or some video games, that becomes a mindset. They're programmed.
Well, I'm going to give you.
That's fine. That's
Isn't
nothing
it
wrong with
music?
doing that.
I'm
You know,
going to
it can-
give you. I'm going to give you another scary scenario. You're 18. See, about 18, 19. I think. What's Corey's 18, right?
19.
He turned
Kept
19.
growing up on
All right,
us.
so let's go from 19 to 85 in years. How many years is that? 60 some odd years?
64.
64 years, okay. Do you know that if we stopped everything today, games and TV and everything, it would take 64 years to cleanse the minds to start over?
All the
generation.
generations, yeah?
Can you,
Sure.
I mean, that's why it will never go away. Because who the hell is going to cleanse something for 6? This is a movie.
It's Frank's next book.
Is that your next book?
God's going to do it in one fell swoop.
I mean, it'll take biblical numbers.
Yep.
Like they said, California was drying up, right? And it rained biblically. And one of the reasons they find out now is that the water in the earth in California has become another problem. It was better off dry. Because, you know, California is on a couple of plates. And the music begins. And these plates make it very unstable. So now when they dried up, it got solid. And all of a sudden, with the water now that are biblical, they got a different problem. See, the end of the world is not going to come because of nuclear holocaust. It's going to come because of water, the lack thereof. And the lesson learned is look at Mars.
You don't think it's going to become a man versus man?
Nope. Look at Mars. You know, when you don't have water, you die. That's just the fact. And you can drink seawater until you can't no more, and you're going to die.
And here's another thing that people seem to put aside and don't realize. Everybody's complaining that most of the pundits say we have to watch out for climate change because global warming is really bad. Global warming isn't really bad. We can live with global warming. We can live with a higher, slightly higher CO2 content in our air because the plants need CO2. And we can live with global warming. If we ever have global cooling,
you got a problem.
We're in deep trouble.
Yep. You can't live in the cold, you can live in the heat.
You can live in the heat, but you can't live in the cold.
I'm going to write a book. Global warming raises the temperature on the earth to 180 degrees. So we have to live underground. We become the mole people.
No, there's people already living underground.
Yeah, but all of us, I mean, the entire 8 billion live underground. And then the plants take over the planet.
And then it'll go back to normal.
And then it will, you know, it's funny you say that because what a way for God to get even and say, you know what, I'm not going to blow it up. I'm just going to make it so you can't live on it, which is what happened with COVID.
What happened to Mars, which is why we're all here.
Mars, something went wrong. That plan did not work. Maybe that was God's pinky that says, watch me, you want to see this? And why is it all of a sudden we're attracted to going back to Mars now? See the rocket ship that blew up because it wouldn't detach? So they had to blow it up.
I like the way he said it, though. I like the way the engineers at SpaceX said. That was a unscheduled catastrophic disassemble.
Yeah, because they blew it up. They didn't want the damn thing landing in somebody's house.
Gio said it didn't really blow up.
That's what he told me. That's the first thing my son said.
We get this during the morning show that it blew up 4 minutes off, and his son from NASA says it didn't really blow up.
They blew it.
It didn't blow up, and it was a successful
mission. It was
mission.
done intentionally.
Yeah.
I said, what do you mean? He says, we got 12 more ready to go. Wow, you know, I'm learning how to live every day another life.
That's it.
Well, here's something very interesting. When the astronauts go into outer space, there's a biological rhythm that our bodies are in. And on Earth, it's 24 hours.
Right.
When they go in outer space, it lessens.
Yes.
To the exact biological rhythm of Mars.
That's interesting.
I keep telling you, we came from there, we landed here. And all the antennas, the pyramids were antennas to Mars because it takes 60 years to wipe the slate clean here. Maybe it took 600 years and they had to come over little by little.
Well, my theory is explained in the next book, so you need to read it. Santa Terra.
Yes, I'm going to start this
Hold
one
on,
tonight.
what was that, Trish?
Well, like Don earlier said, like, what did we learn from COVID? We all like went in, you know what I mean? Like we stayed in, but then we didn't learn anything. It's like if we really did come from Mars and came to Earth, we're just doing the same thing to Earth that
Well,
we
we
did
learned how
over
to
there.
wash
We
our
didn't
hands.
learn anything, you know.
Not
just killing this
anymore.
planet.
Not anymore.
Do you know, here's the crazy thing. Sometimes the bathroom soap dispenser is empty, and I know I have to fill it, but I think, is someone actually going to find another soap and fill it? Nope. Which means they're not washing their hands. Thank you very much.
Yes,
so there's
and
a big
then-
thing of soap underneath the sink now, guys.
Yes, wash your freaking hands.
And then you're touching
And I'm
the
gonna
door
tell you, if there's
handle
no
and the
soap-
lock and stop.
If there's no soap and I go to you and I say, did you wash your hands? No, and you're wiping them, we're going to have a problem.
So nobody washed their hands and everybody ate the soup. Nice.
Because I left here.
No, everybody grabbed the donut.
I left here
Oh,
Friday,
stop,
and
I'm
there was a
sick.
little bit, and you had a full studio here Friday. Came in Monday morning, no one had filled that soap dispenser, which meant none of those people here Friday night
Well, you
washed
can
their
wash your
hands.
hands with the water if you leave it down there long enough.
With what water? Just water?
Water.
Did anyone ask you
No.
for the soap?
No, nobody here washes their hands.
That was Friday night. All I can tell you.
We got to get a police. We got to get a washing your hands police.
I don't know. Frank, how do people
That'll
get your
be me.
books? I'm reading this one next.
Amazon, you get my books on Amazon or any online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million are all online. You can come right to the studio here at 2400
You can buy
Northwest
'em, yeah.
Boca
You
Raton
gotta read
Boulevard
'em.
and buy them. Order
It
an
is
autograph.
I got to
Or
tell
you
you.
can contact me by email.
I gotta tell you.
FrankAverfollow@gmail.com.
I got to watch the books. I stand in the lobby now because people think that the books are here. They think it's a library. It says, no, in the library. You got to buy the book. Well,
Did you
can
read
I
the book
read
yet?
it? No.
No, not yet, not fully.
Okay.
It's funny, but
Read it. Find out what's going on next. To our crew, congratulations, G-Man Thursday. We're having
also
a
we want to
graduation party.
congratulate Mayor, who's not here, but Mayor for getting the award.
Audience
Favorite.
favorite for Dog Eared.
And I gotta tell you, that's a big accomplishment to get a independent movie made audience favorite. Is kind of cool because people liked it.
Yep.
I don't know why it didn't win the whole thing.
No, we got to play it again. All right, tune in today at 3 o'clock for the season finale of the Metal Lifestyle Magazine show right here. Mike, the Money Coach, will be here today at 4:30, and then we'll see what rolls out later. Oh, and then What's Poppin'? Coming to you at 5 o'clock. So more to come. Have a great afternoon. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.